Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all is well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. If you're absolutely addicted to the game of basketball like I am, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below and put that post notification bell on. And today I'm going to be talking about Jabari Smith Jr. You know, the third overall pick out of Auburn, and some people even thought he should have went number one overall. Obviously, it wasn't a huge shock that Paolo Banchero went number one overall to the Orlando Magic. Like, he was pretty much a lock in the top three, but some people thought he was like the consensus second or third overall pick, not the first overall pick in the draft. People thought he was either going to be a Jabari Smith Jr. or Chet Holmgren, but I always thought that Paolo Banchero just had this grown man NBA body, and he was the safest pick for the first overall pick, and it even looks like he has the upside moving forward as well. But anyway, Jabari Smith Jr. slipped to that third overall pick, being selected by the Houston Rockets, and I honestly really like the pick for the Houston Rockets. A lot of people were calling it the consolation prize, or some people that took a deep dive into the film and maybe didn't see certain things like other people do, or like, okay, it's a consolation prize type of pick. But then other people, like including me, like I'm a mixture of both. There's obviously things he needs to work on, but at the same time, I was like, that's still very good value when it comes to the third overall pick at the end of the day. So a lot of people are labeling Jabari Smith Jr. a bust already. You already know how NBA Twitter is. You already know how NBA media is. There's a lot of overreacting. He's only like 10 games, I believe, through his NBA career. Like every team's played almost like 10 games, 9 or 10 games. Different for some teams that may be like a game behind, due to maybe like a back-to-back. Then they had like a couple rest days, but Jabari Smith Jr., no doubt about it, has really struggled. He's not putting up great statistics. He's very inefficient from the field. There's definitely some things he needs to work on. And don't get me wrong, there was some concerns in college that are starting to translate over to the NBA level. But at the end of the day, he is 19 years old. He is 19 years old. He has time to refine his skills and continue to get better. And one of the things I loved about him coming out of Auburn is he has a great head on his shoulders. He has a great work ethic. He's all about winning. He's a very coachable player. So I do think he's going to get better every single year that he is in the league. And there's some things even the Rockets organization or the Rockets coaching staff needs to do better to put him in the position to be successful. So when you take a look at Jabari Smith Jr. coming out of Auburn at the 4 position, his best trait was his ability to shoot the basketball. He shot around 42, 43% from the outside. He had the pick and pop potential. He's a very smooth stroke, very good mechanics. His ability to shoot the basketball, and it was on very good volume. He was taking multiple threes, like over 4 threes per game. He was hitting them in big moments. He was setting the tone. He was hitting crazy deep NBA range type of threes, like Curry range threes. I was like, all right, that's the recipe for success of today's NBA. And the reason why I'm saying that, it's not just his 3-point shooting, it's his defensive versatility, his ability to defend the perimeter, his ability to defend the inside, which has translated. Yes, he has struggled when it comes to more physical types of assignments. When you look at his length, though, you look at that he's 6'10", he's able to alter, like really affect shots and get deflections when it comes to the passing lanes, just really reading those entry passes very well. Like, he has very good eyes. He has very good footwork when it comes to defending the perimeter and just being disciplined in the inside. Like, don't get me wrong, he has his undisciplined moments, but he is a rookie. He's going to get better when it comes to those stronger assignments, when he gets stronger throughout his career. But he definitely has a very good wingspan that helps him out there, and you could just tell the flexibility of his hips to defend the perimeter. He's just very fluid on that side of the ball. So I do think Jabari Smith Jr., like, he's done a very good job, or at least a solid job on defense, and that's the side of the ball that I've been very impressed with. His ability to rebound the ball, he's been fine in that department. He's averaging 6 rebounds per game, especially for someone that's maybe not the strongest in the world, like at least like stature wise. Like, he is a defined dude. Like, he's still pretty strong, but I feel like he could get even stronger. It does look like he has that type of physique that he's able to put on even more muscle. That's just from the eyeball test. Obviously, I don't know his family genes or anything like that. So I talked about his ability to shoot the basketball, like shooting 43% from 3 coming out of college, that type of thing. But if you looked at his college stats, he shot like 43% from 3, but like pretty much it was the same when it came to his overall field goal percentage, shooting like 42, 43% from the overall field, which I'll put on the screen. And so far this season, he's been atrocious shooting it from the outside. He's only shooting it at a 30% clip, and there are some shots that he's just straight up missing that have fallen short, too strong. I've seen shots that have hit the backboard and kind of been way off. And because he's struggling from the outside, missing these open shots, he's also taken some very difficult shots and has taken some bad shots within the flow of the offense. And if you look at Jabari Smith's game offensively, the way he gets these 3-point shots, it's not in a special way. It's not my way of criticizing Jabari Smith Jr. because I still think he could be a very successful player even with his skill set, but he definitely does have a limited skill set for the third overall pick. It's not like a Paolo Banchero that he has this very good face-up game that he's able to create, just have an unpredictability, get the defense to bite like crazy, have this herky-jerkiness to get to the basket, have that burst, have the athleticism, go to that fadeaway, half spins, up and under. Like, he doesn't have that type of bag like a Paolo Banchero. He has shown that he can get the ball, rip, do a face-up, like he's been able to execute on some of those shots. Obviously, he hasn't knocked it down consistently, but he gets his shots like when it comes to pick and pops. He also gets shots like we've seen in the summer league. We've seen it occasionally. Like sometimes when it comes to that fadeaway, he's a catch and shoot type of guy. Like he doesn't really have an extremely polished game offensively. He kind of is predictable on that side of the ball, and he doesn't have a fantastic burst or anything to get to the hoop. When he does find an open crease in the lane, or when he catches the defense like kind of lacking and he sees an open lane, he is able to dribble penetrate, get a layup, and able to throw it down as well. But his handle needs work. His handle's still, I'm not going to say extremely loose. Like sometimes in transition, you can't see him bring the ball up the floor, put it behind his back for one dribble, pull up, and it just comes down to really executing that. And then sometimes you see him like a screen set, he moves around the screen, or maybe he just jabs, works around the screen, a couple dribbles, pull up, so he can put the ball on the floor. It's just like, to what level is he going to reach? Again, he's only 19 years old. I'm not going to label him anything. But yeah, he's struggling from the overall field. He's struggling from the outside. And yeah, going back to college, like I said, he shot it very well from the outside, but his efficiency just from the overall field wasn't great. And that's just due to him being very limited offensively, that when he gets to the basket, sometimes I feel like he doesn't really make a great decision, or sometimes he's just lost when he is at the basket. Sometimes you'd like to see him finish stronger at the basket as well. I'm not like, yes, he's 6'10 and he has long wingspan, but not like he's a Giannis type of athlete. We've seen him have fantastic dunks at Auburn, but I just don't feel like he finishes with that type of authority. I don't think he has that athleticism. I do think he has good enough athleticism, and we're only like 10 games to the season. I'm not gonna really label him anything at all, but he's definitely struggled offensively. But the Rockets aren't doing him any favors with the type of offense they run. When you look at Steven Silas, it's a very bland type of offense. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching an AAU team. Like, you see Jalen Green get buckets, but sometimes the structure of this offense isn't really consistent. If Jabari Smith's yes, he's struggling like to make open shots, just wide open sometimes outside on the perimeter, but you should still have him cutting if it's cutting back door, and utilize his length, utilize his athleticism. Like, get him close to the basket so it opens up things even more. And I do think his shot is better than what he is showing, which we saw in college. We've seen him knock down some crazy deep shots, and just another thing, he's shooting like 81% from the free throw line. I know it's on a very small sample size. He's not getting there a lot. But yeah, the Rockets need to do a better job giving him more touches within the flow of the offense. Do a better job getting him moving, like cutting. Like, he played 21 minutes last night, but he only had like 3 shot attempts as well. You could say that's on the Rockets offense, and you could also say that's on him. Maybe he has to demand the ball more. But we know Kevin Porter Jr. has progressed as a passer. He's obviously not a pass first guard. Like, he still managed to have like 10 assists last night. He's progressed in that department. He's averaging like 6 or 7 assists, but we know he likes to score the basketball. He's a pretty ball dominant guy. Jalen Green likes to score the basketball. Alperen Şengün he's a very good passer. Alperen Şengün is a good passer of the ball, but he's someone that can get buckets as well. There's tons of bucket getters in this lineup for sure, like just when it comes to their overall personnel. So maybe you could say Jabari Smith Jr., what separates him from a Paolo, separates him from a Jaden Ivey. I'm not going to say Chet Holmgren yet, because we technically haven't seen him play in real live action, like an actual NBA game outside of Summer League, is that he has to rely upon personnel to really set him up. And that's not necessarily like a huge problem, but I know some people are going to hate on that because he's the 3rd overall pick. He should just have this crazy great impact right away, and we're going to be getting into his stats and all that, but he needs certain personnel to find him in his spots, find him in that mid-range area, so he doesn't have to force up these tough, difficult twos, that like deep twos that we have seen, because Paolo can create a shot on his own. Jaden Ivey has this lightning, just give me the ball, I'm going to get out and run, just freaking, he's a lightning bolt down the basketball floor. But Jabari Smith Jr. is an interesting player. He could still impact the game when he's at his best, when he's making threes from the outside, but the big hate on him was like, for the 3rd overall pick, is he just a taller Mikal Bridges, Like, he's a good athlete, but he's not a fantastic athlete that's going to be able to break you down. Like, he's shown that he can break you down, but it's not at a consistently good level yet. I'm going to keep on saying yet because he's still only 19 years old. I'm not going to kill him or anything like that. I just thought it would be a very interesting topic. He could shoot the ball. I do think the shot's eventually going to fall because his defense is at an extremely high level, which I think is going to really help impact this Houston Rockets team. And he's going to continue to become more disciplined. And I'm trying to remember if it was in a preseason game or a regular season game. So the game was pretty much over, and it was just a rookie mistake. He's going to have to learn throughout these moments. Like, he fouled Trae Young when the game was pretty much over, when he should have just let Trae Young run out the clock. It was just like, what was the point of that foul? Sometimes he just does stupid rookie mistake type of things, and against certain personnel, he struggles to post up, and he's just going to continue to mature. And I love that he's facing this adversity early compared to maybe the end of the season or in the middle of the season, because it's a true test for him. Can he overcome adversity? And I'm excited to see what he's going to do with Jalen Green, all this other personnel moving forward, because he's rebounding the ball well, he's defending well. But yeah, if you get into Jabari Smith's stats so far this season, they haven't been extremely pretty at all, as he's averaging 10 points per game. He is averaging a block. He's averaging 3.6 fouls per game, so that's to go with just being more disciplined, playing straight hands of fundamental defense at times. And despite him getting into foul trouble, I still think he is a solid defender. Like, there's been some solid defenders in this league, like good shot blockers that get into foul trouble. Like Mitchell Robinson's one of them. Obviously, that's just one of the top names I think of at the top of my head. We know he's one of the top shot blockers in the league. I know he's very raw when it comes to other things, like offensively. It's just like his awareness out there on the floor and his feel for the game, but we know his ability to block shots. He gets into foul trouble, but Jabari Smith Jr. is only like 10 games through his NBA career, so I wouldn't really worry about that as of right now. He's averaging a turnover, a block, 10 points per game, like I mentioned, 5.6 rebounds per game. 4.6 of them are defensive rebounds. 1 is offensive rebounds. He's shooting, 88% from the free throw line. I might have said 81% earlier, but like 88.9. So you can round that up to 89, 90% from the free throw line. Like 2 attempts from the free throw line. Shooting 30% from 3. He's attempting 6 threes per game. Overall, he's only shooting 30% from the field. And when you take a look at the three-pointers, he attempts 6 threes per game. And his overall field goals, he attempts 11. So he takes tons of threes. And that's pretty much how the offense is set up, and that's the way they utilize him as well. But we know he's that type of player. He's going to really like to shoot the ball from the outside. So he's attempting 11 field goals per game. He's shooting 30% from the field. He's averaging 29.7 minutes per game. And yeah, I think they're just going to have to get him easier shots around the basket. Honestly, Jabari Smith Jr. needs to get better, but the Rockets need to do a better job utilizing him as well. Yes, he was the 3rd overall pick, but like, he's still 19 years old. Like, he's still a rookie. It takes some players like different times to really develop and grow. Yes, it's not been very encouraging so far. Hopefully he does have some pop-off games. Like, he has shown a game that he scored over 20 points this season. We saw him at his best, and again, some people are going to hate on him. He doesn't have a 3rd overall pick skill set, but he's still young, and even if he is kind of just an occasional behind-the-back 3, fade away, face-up, mid-range 3-point, like solid athlete, good defender, that's still someone that can impact winning for your club as long as he's locked in and really wants to be great. Let me know down below your thoughts on Jabari Smith Jr. I personally I'm still going to root for him. It's still very early on in his career. We've seen other guys face adversity, pop off later. Thank you guys so much for a great amount of support. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, y'all.